So I usually, like, when I did go buy plants and get motivated, and we have a spot cleared for garden this year. I doubt I'll do anything, but, like, I would go, like, the farmer's market, where they already have the started seedlings, and I like to go get those. Yeah. And mainly, I like now the herbs and stuff. Those are easier for me to grow, and I don't have to really prune.
Yeah. You're listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast, where we uncover inspiring things about our community through the stories of inspiring people who call it home. I am Dee Harrell, and this is the creator of Oh My Omaha, the blog, and the blogosphere's friendliest face herself, Kim Reiner.
Hi there.
Hi, Kim.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. Just rolling up my sleeves here.
Yeah.
It's a lot warmer than it's should be right now.
It's supposed to be record tomorrow, like 86 or 7 or something. Yeah. And then 40 on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Sounds about right. I mean, you were just saying you were like, I knew it was going to be warm, but I was going to wear a jacket and, just in case. This morning woke up and I went into the hot tub real quick because I was like, my muscles were just killing. And I got tan lines from just like an hour out this morning. It's like, that's not supposed to happen in March.
Happy March, yeah.
Yeah. So I would have been right there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you feeling?
Man. So yeah, I was just telling you, like, COVID hit over the weekend.
Yeah.
And, doing better now. Like, I just slept a lot. And it's still just...
It doesn't...
Crazy that it doesn't go away.
Yeah. You're kind of like, oh yeah, there's that COVID thing I forgot about, right? Okay. Yeah, it does hit though. I got to say, I've had one big doozy during the height of everything, and then a couple times after that. And none of them clearly not just like the big doozy.
Yeah, but and the symptoms are all just different. It's a different feeling. Like I thought this time around, I'm like, oh, just a cold, and it wasn't until I couldn't taste the tea that
taste thing. You're like, no.
And then it makes it different. Like, nope. I thought just stuffy nose was the problem, but.
Yeah. Well,
so, I'm good.
Good.
Like, up and about, and
that's good. I remember being wiped out for like a few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I still feel kind of tired.
Yeah.
I fall asleep so much easier now.
Yeah, you're like, well, there's that. You're not working out though right now, are you?
I am. Like, so last week I didn't go at all. And I think we went one time and we did bench presses, and then I'm like, all right, I think I'm good. This is what I'm glad I got to the gym, and I'm going home now.
Yeah. You're like, all right, cool.
And today we just went, like, we did a rucksack walk.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that was fine. Still kind of low key.
So you guys go every morning?
Try to.
Yeah.
I didn't go yesterday. Because I went Monday and Tuesday after a week pretty much off, and it beat me down. So I'm like, I need Wednesday off.
To rest maybe just a little bit more.
I'm like, that was probably a little too intense. So, yeah.
Well, I hope the fluctuating weather doesn't affect the gardens too much.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I've been working in the yard a lot, like nonstop. I've been on productions quite a bit, but the days that I could, when the days right before the blizzard, the weird 80-degree days before the blizzard, I was in the yard both days. So my birthday was on the Monday, and he's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I legitimately want to work in the yard all day long. Nice. So we did. And then again on Tuesday, and I was so proud. Like, this is how I feel old. I texted you about like gardening and things, and I felt like ridiculously ancient in my giddiness on it. But I had worked those 2 days, and I'd raked all of the leaves that had blown in, all of the dead stuff. Well, most of the things I could get to. And then when the snow came on Wednesday, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I got up all those dead leaves. Like, I didn't know there were days would come where I'd be like, yes, I raked yesterday.
Got in front of it. Now we have like just sticks all over the place. We have to go and rake up all those or pick them up.
I love it.
You love it?
I really do.
So like I used to get into gardening, or the idea of gardening, and I do it almost every year, where I plant a bunch of flowers and then I kill them.
Yeah.
And then when I would garden back at our old place, and I was all dedicated, like, okay, new mom, I'm like, I'm gonna feed my kids food from the garden, and I'm gonna like puree them. And I did it for the most part, but like I am a not a good attentive gardener, and like when I try to prune, because Kevin told you the pruning story.
Yes, yeah, I do know the pruning story.
So the pruning story for everyone else is that like I went to go prune our tomato plants, and it was just like I just kept trimming and just trying to balance it, kept trimming, and then when Kevin came out, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. Our plants are just like a stick now, with just like a couple branches, and I'm just like, I can't be trusted in the garden.
Yep, so, I get it. I don't take credit for it.
Gardening, but
I do too. My father is an agricultural engineer, and so growing up, we had, and I really did take it. I mean, I didn't take it for granted, but I really didn't appreciate it as much as I am now. But I mean, full garden with a compost in the back. We had 2 massive cherry trees that would we would have so much fruit. We would put it on we'd give it to the neighbors, and it was just awesome. And E is a big gardener. The house used to belong to a master gardener, and he's kept it. So I think I'm kind of a great gardener's assistant. Tell me, direct me, and I'll do it. And I love it, and I will hyper focus on that. But yeah, I'm not like, this soil is really great, and this sunlight is really good for these plants. But I am learning more.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think it's secretly to get my dad to feel some kind of pride in it. Like both my brother and my sister, they're really good. They've got good green thumbs, and I'm like Lenny. I swear, I overlove and overwater and cute. It's not that I don't want them alive. I just love them too much.
Where do you go to get your plants and stuff?
So there's that plant place that also has really good pickles, by the way, on Leavenworth. 30.
I'm picturing it. It's kind of near Saddle Creek a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's right before you hit Saddle Creek. It's on the I was going to say denouement, on the downslide going east before you hit the Bakers or whatever.
Right.
That's right there. And there's a really cool thrift store right there. But some people blink and miss it because it's not, the parking is off to the side, and then it's kind of fenced off. Gosh, we'll try to remember what the name of it, but it's the best. And I used to go there a couple times because when I lived downtown, but again, I'm just not knowledgeable of it. But E took me, and we picked out all of these different things, and I loved, we had so much robust plants from there. We had a lot of tomatoes, really big. We had big heirlooms, or the two-tone green ones, they were tiger something, I think, but those they were awesome. And then we did peppers, all these different hot peppers, and we had what else did we have? We had really great herbs. There's a basil plant that's sweet. We were able to keep alive inside. I love that place. I'd have to say, because they have spicy pickles. Oh. And I don't remember, but they sell a little bit right there when you go to pay. And
jarred pickles?
Yeah. Really love that place.
So I usually, when I did go buy plants and get motivated, and we have a spot cleared for garden this year. I doubt I'll do anything, but I would go the farmers market where they already have the started seedlings, and I like to go get those. Yeah. And mainly, I like now the herbs and stuff. Those are easier for me to grow, and I don't have to really prune.
Yeah.
Mint and basil, and
I love that. Mint is really good too. My dad told me when at my old house that mint and lemongrass or lemon variety things.
Yeah.
And garlic, garlic wheat or wild garlic, is really good to have almost as some filler in some spots of your garden because they're good bug repellents.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Again, I'm not the one who's the owner of the knowledge. I'm just passing it on.
Thank you. Yeah. What was I going to say? So, we were talking about what we could talk about. And so gardening, and spring flowers.
Yeah.
Do you since you grew up master gardeners, essentially, do you go out and look for flowers, or do you have a place that you always go each spring?
I love wildflowers, and one of the things I've done a lot is just clear out a plot where I was on the side of the house or whatnot, and just get a bunch of wildflower seeds, and then I would just plant them. I love to see what would come up, and that was kind of my thing in that. And and you can get those seeds anywhere. But I was really obsessed with the massive, those giant, they're not hydrant, not the good night. It's going to drive me bonkers. They have a whole wall of it at the Botanical Gardens. Listen, it's it'll come to me, man, alive.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways, I was obsessed with those. Like now I really want, massive flower, like big buds,
Big
I
blooms,
guess. Yeah. So we have a trellis, and it's like a ladder and a trellis that goes up onto like the wall that goes around the hot tub. And we have moonflowers and morning glory kind of on, we kind of intermix them. So it's kind of fun. So like it's a vine that grows up, and in the morning you get these wicked purple flowers, and then at night you get these massive white flowers. So it's really, I'm obsessed with that. Yeah. Okay. And those are the giant variety. We got those at, at Lowe's actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So Lawrenson is like my first place to go for like the spring flowers. So for the first time, like I've always missed it, but they have the big daffodil field. So I finally got to go see that. It might have been just last year, maybe 2 years ago. It's all blurring together, but that is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a tulip person.
I know you are. And I've gone to some of those flower, like, yes, I like going to some of those flower shows. But again, I've been really kind of gun shy on buying. So because of my Lennyism. So do you purchase, like, do you like to purchase things, or like, are you planning on purchasing some daffodils and tulips? And
well, so we have a couple tulips that come up each year, but like, unfortunately, they are in the spot where Charlotte she has a pollinator garden. So I don't think she's dug those up yet. So they'll just come up and bloom for a little bit, and then her wildflowers will come up. But you need to find a good spot for tulips. Like, I don't know why I don't plant them. Like, I love them so much, and they don't last very long, but like
they don't. They're so beautiful.
Have you ever like gone to any of the tulip festivals out of town?
Yeah, I have. Actually, there's one back home, like in Toronto, that's awesome. Like, yeah, if you ever get up to that place, up to Toronto, you should check them out. But what's your favorite?
So, so I've gone to Orange City in Iowa, Northwest Iowa, and it's kind of like a little mini Holland. It's not quite to the extent of Pella's. I haven't been to Pella's Tulip Festival, but I've been to Pella a couple other times of the year, and they have tulips all around. But Orange City was pretty impressive for like a little small town. It was a fun festival, and I heard Nebraska's finally going to have one. Ooh. Nelson Produce Farm.
Awesome.
And they haven't announced the dates yet, but they've said they planted it. Look for news on the Tulip Festival, and that's a lot closer.
That's awesome. So then maybe you could just kind of update everybody on that. That's cool.
So I'm excited about that. Because they do like the sunflower thing.
They do.
So I imagine they'll do the tulips justice.
What's our flower of Nebraska? Oh, goldenrod?
Goldenrod? Yeah.
Interesting. The only reason I ask is because Kansas, there's a lot of fields of beautiful, like amazing sunflowers that you can kind of check out. They got a kind of a great state flower.
Yeah. So like I did like a media trip to Wichita, and outside of Wichita, I want to say it could be like Goodwin, Kansas, maybe.
Okay.
But they have a sunflower maze. And you'd love it because they do like a 5K run in it.
Oh, I do. I would love that.
But then the rest of the time, it's like amazing. You just go walk around and get lost in a maze. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. But yeah, they have like a run, and maybe it's just along the outside because I could imagine losing some runners or I don't know. I mean, trampling the sunflowers.
Terrifying, actually.
Yeah,
they are huge. That would be fun. Yeah, I got to look into that more.
Yeah, it was cool. So I got to do my Instagram photos.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right. You did mention the plant sales or the plants that they have for sale at the farmers markets are great.
Yeah.
And supporting.
Right.
And they're opening. I'm so excited.
Listen, I was just updating my farmers market post. And I'm like, there's a couple that are starting. There's like a new one starting in Ralston, and that's already going to kick into gear in like a week, in early April. And then like Old Market and those all start the first weekend in May.
That's right.
And We have so many now.
I love it.
Updating it. I'm like, we've got something out like at Shops of Legacy. We got Elkhorn, Papillion.
Yeah.
Do you go to that one?
Yes.
Of you, or?
They have them on like Wednesday or Thursday that eat at night, which I kind of dig because like I come home from a job or whatever, and like we could just go. Yeah, I do like the varying days.
Mm-hmm. We're lucky.
Yeah, we are lucky. We have a lot. Purchasing flowers. Since we're on the topic of flowers and flora, fauna, I don't know. What's some of your favorite local florists or floral shops?
So for the longest time, because back in the day when I worked in Council Bluffs, Kevin would always get flowers from Quorum's.
Yeah.
And I think he still does some from time to time.
Cute.
So that's the only one that sticks in my mind. Because otherwise it's just kind of like on a shopping trip and I just get a bouquet from time to time.
My favorite is it happens to be my favorite store as well. It is in the plaza at 90th and Center where the old Senior Materials was, where Bookworm is, and it's called Everbloom.
Okay.
And it's like a florist and oddities and like just all these wicked trinkets and really cool small furniture finds and art and like artisan like gifts and like decor. When I had my fire, I literally went in there and bought so much stuff just because it was so up my alley and just kind of like quirkiness, I guess. Okay. But their flowers are beautiful. Like the way that they arrange the ones that they have, like they showcase and the things that they do, they're really thoughtful about the kind of flowers that are in season, and really it's more of a modern take on like a floral arrangement. And so like one of the, like actually Bodie got it for his girlfriend once, but there's a vase arrangement, but it's kind of more laid out horizontal in different size, kind of like bent pottery. So they're all just these tiny little pots, and then when you first get it, it has like all these different flower arrangements in these little vases. So then once it's done, she's got all these little vases and you can just put whatever you want. But it's the way that their presentation is so cool. Unique. And I got, like when the kids were in high school, I got their corsages and boutonnieres and stuff there, and it was there would be like, you'd have a choice. It wasn't more expensive. It would just have a better choice than just like the regular rose. Like you could have wickedly cool, like odd black cherry rose, or like a really cool lily, and they just have options that some of the other places don't, just because it's just very thoughtful. And so that's my favorite.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
and stems. The stems locations are great as well.
Where are those? Kind
of. Rock. Is there still one at Rock?
There is a shop at Rockbrook. I was trying to think of the name of it, and I don't know if it's stems though. That doesn't sound.
I feel it, but I think Rockbrook and I can't remember. Trader Joe's has great flowers too.
Yeah.
I just got an arrangement from Bodie for my birthday, and it is this, and it's not expensive. It's just awesome. Yeah, those are great.
I do like Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for like people who just like to enjoy nature, right? Like runners or bikers or hikers, whatever. If you're outside, what are some of the places that you know of as far as that have really great landscaping or interesting floral and fauna environments?
I always send people to Hitchcock, like no matter what time of year. I mean, fall
for sure,
gorgeous there. And I can't think what time of year, sunflower season, but there's surprisingly, like at Chalco, there's a field of sunflowers.
Oh yeah, I forget about Chalco.
Kind of on the south east side of the lake, I think. It's a neat, like you don't expect it. Yeah, and then you're just coming up on the trail, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of sunflowers. So that was a cool find. Not sure, where do you come across any?
Sometimes there's like this little moment in Zarinsky, like when you go around Zarinsky, where there's like
a little sunflower field there too.
Yeah, and like some really cool like spots of wildflowers, which are really random. But I remember, like, if you hit it right, then you get some really, really cool.
I think it's on the north side. I can't remember if it's.
I agree. Yeah. But I know I talk about it all the time, but I honestly love walking around or running or whatever's in the old market because of like people's windows window boxes.
Yep.
There's a lot of like, especially down Howard Street in the old market with a lot of the businesses and a lot of the apartments above them. They have a lot of their window, like just like cascading flowers. And I really dig that.
Have you done much running around like the riverfront? Because they like mark like so you can actually learn what plants they are. So
I love that.
You're able to identify them and see if you can buy them.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that. Yeah, if anybody who are, if you haven't yet, do the riverfront. That whole loop, right about like Conegra and like down towards Luminarium, and it's just it's awesome.
A lot of flowers, yeah.
Yeah.
And like June Leahy Mall's got them scattered, and that's a good spot.
Yeah, they are really thoughtful about what the overturn of the flower. I guess like I know Lanahaw keeps up their all the plants there. So yeah, you're right. I love the big where the big Kaneko head is. That water surrounding that, the vegetation there is so cool. Like you get to see ducks with their like there's like little nests in them, and they just really, really thoughtful in the things that they wanted to happen down there with with the plants. But yeah, the flowers are really great there.
Yeah,
I love it. But I'm a baby's breath girl.
Yeah,
really, really. I was like, well, flowers you would like. I love. Give me a massive amount of baby's breath, and I'm super happy. Or even a massive amount of carnations, I'm good.
No.
Yeah.
Like I don't run anymore, but my favorite thing about running was actually the change in the seasons. And so like this time of year when you started to spot like just the tiny little purple wildflowers that are just starting to bloom, and you're like, okay, so now we're getting out of winter. And
yeah.
And that was just kind of right around Memorial Park area.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then like the city would have some of their they'd have flower beds in there that start to bloom. And then summer, you've got like the Rose Garden there, so that's another good spot.
It is a good spot. You're right. Midtown and like Dundee and Field Club and awesome, cool architecture, obviously, but part of it is the upkeep and the landscaping of it, and so beautiful. Like the flowers around there are just so cool. Absolutely. Yeah, and we don't think really about urban spots for flower watching, but honestly, those are the places I go to most because I. Live there, but like I just think it's a really cool beautification of existing buildings. Absolutely. I think Omaha does a really great job of that. Yeah. What flowers did you have at your wedding? I don't remember. Kind of rambling.
No, we had like hydrangeas, blue hanging from the trellis. So my sister-in-law built that trellis at her wedding.
That's right.
She kept it, and she had
still has it.
I think she still has it.
That's amazing.
Or maybe she rented it out for people for a little bit.
Smart.
She might still have it. Maybe not. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Maybe she got rid of it, but she kept it for a long time.
Yeah.
Why not? It wasn't that cool.
I couldn't remember what you had. I don't
know about the bouquets. Where I wanted it simple and I don't know.
Isn't it so funny? Like that. Like you're just like I don't know. There were flowers.
I don't know. There were white flowers and a little blue in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do remember being like, so I was adamant, like, I don't really want roses. And like, for whatever reason, the florist must have had like a problem with the flowers that they were going to do. And it was like a bouquet of white roses. And I was just like, okay, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to get upset about this. But like the one flower where I'm like, I don't really care what flower you do.
Just not this one.
I don't want roses though.
Yeah, but let's just go ahead and put that. That's.
So I just remember that being like,
it's kind of hilarious, actually.
I'm like, okay. I mean, it looked cute. It looked great, but I just like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, you brought up this whole interaction has brought up something really interesting about like how we know a lot of people who've been married and have been married ourselves, but we there's so much importance put into that piece of it that sometimes you're like, oh wait, like look at you now, 20 years late, whatever. Right. You're like, I don't even remember what my flowers were. It's just ironic that way.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had friends that just celebrated their anniversary, and we were kind of remembering their wedding, and they just did a flash, like, okay, it's going to happen this day. We went to Whole Foods and grabbed some beautiful bouquets for like $15, and we just went and did it. It was awesome. So,
great idea.
Yeah, there's a little tip for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you're really just like, there's some gorgeous arrangement, like things that you can get for under $20
right.
instead of
tied together with a ribbon. You're like, look at that.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah. Or even twine. Whatever. Yeah. But $200 on
later that night for the dinner.
Correct.
Just put them on in vases. And
yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody who really, it's fine. Yeah. It's just saying if you're, planning a wedding and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to spend $500 on flowers.
Yeah. And you don't know flowers.
Yeah.
It's not,
just a little tip there. But I mean, I'm not trying to get anybody out of business either, but just it's a one way to save on costs.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. Cool.
That's funny.
Do they do flower petals? Like, I know that you can't do rice or anything at weddings, but like, do people throw flowers?
I don't know. We didn't. I don't think our flower girls, didn't. They just carried we had whatever, like a little ball of flour.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I think I have not seen flower petals or rice. I mean, I've seen bubbles.
Yeah, there's a lot of bubbles everywhere. Bubbles at concerts, bubbles at weddings, bubbles at...
We've never grown up.
Yeah. Oh, bubbles. And it legitimately, bubbles show up and you're like, bubble. Like, it's... Yeah. It's one of those things.
Right. That reminds me, like, I saw bubbles, like, at Maha. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, it's for the kids, but...
No, like, hey. I'm pretty sure I probably knew who the person was that was doing the bubbles at Maha, and like, it's for us.
For them. Yeah, it's for us. So.
But yeah, so let's see. What are one tip that you want to try that we should maybe update on as far as like planting?
I am the worst gardener. Mm-hmm. Like most people take my tips with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
always trim your. Like, if you get a bouquet given to you, to trim them before you put them in a vase. I learned long ago that rather than just put your whole bouquet in, like, one big vase and enjoy that, you can, like, divide them up into smaller little arrangements, and then you can get to be your own little florist and decorate around the house. So, like, one bouquet I would spread out in, like, 5 vases and just have flowers all over the place.
I do love that tip. I'm a cool... glass bottle hoarder, right? So any unusual glass container. So I will put dried flowers or whatever's in them. But like, that's a great tip. I'll just put them all over the house.
Right. Yeah. I have the vases I like to use. I got them from my grandma. Mm-hmm. So these old like milk white vases.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So those are my favorite ones to use.
Honestly,
and they're so thin, so you have to divide up a bouquet for them.
It's so beautiful and dainty. And, that's an interesting point. So, flowers, from a health and wellness point, they say that, having fresh flowers around, really, it's shown to have, like, an uplifting. I mean, people, that's why people bring them to hospitals and stuff. They are genuinely shown as a proven way to uplift. Yeah. So, just a hint, if you're feeling a little blasé, just get some flowers and disperse them.
And like clean the air, right? Like the greenery and so Just I try to get the plants where they say you can't kill them.
Yeah.
And that's what's inside my house.
No, I get that. I've killed a fern. I've killed ferns and like those spider plants and cacti. Aloe.
I'm like, how do I do that?
My dad's like, I swear I've never seen anybody kill these unkillable plants. Yeah. But I'm getting better with guidance. Right. I have to admit my strengths and weaknesses, and keeping plants alive is definitely a weakness of mine. I want to, so I just let the people who know how to do it, and I'll just help maintain, I guess. Right. Yeah.
I guess if I had direction, I might be better about it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a complete lost cause, but I'm pretty close.
I mean, it's never too late to
learn something.
Yeah.
I know.
Like a perfect weekend would be like we could go like look at me talking like I'm going to blow some glass and make a vase or like throw some clay and make a...
I thought you were going to say we were going to learn how to be like gardeners, like take a master gardener class.
So we go to hot shops, we make our own containers, then we go to like a metro course that teaches us the basics of gardening, and then we get once our things have cured from the hot shops, pick those up, and we can like spread joy in that way.
You know what I wanted to learn? There's like a class on foraging coming up, and like I wanted but it's the same morning of a baby shower, so I can't go do that. But I'm like keeping my eye out to see if there's other foraging. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm a vegan, and I'm gluten-free for medical purposes. But there's this foraging guy on YouTube that I'm obsessed with. But every time I'm like, that would be so cool, I'm like, oh my God, then I'm going to be like that. That girl.
You've gone all the way over to that.
And I'd have to like just explain that I'm like, yeah, sorry, hold on. I've got to like squeeze my own milk from the plants I just gathered on my walk, which I think is really, really rad. But I don't know how other people would. I don't know if it would land.
Of course,
we're not going to go eat at Dee's. She's going to bring her own gray brown milk that she made from bark. But yeah, I think that's super cool too. I really, really do. I think maybe we should look into some foraging. If anybody has any ideas on foraging, send them our way. Yeah. So last thoughts.
Let's enjoy like finally nice weather and you get to plant. Like I really want to plant, and I've got time now, but like I just keep thinking to myself with the gardening shears by the tomato plant, and I'm like,
trauma.
So
just go out and enjoy in all the places we talked about.
Yeah, exactly. I think I will do that.
And almost like I tell people, this is my last thought, people who bird watch, right? Like I really kind of like, I secretly want to get into that, but then I'm like, I really want to get into like flower watching. Like I'm one of those, not necessarily a weird creep or anything, but I like to walk and check out people's yards. And sometimes I'm like, what? I have no idea what that flower is. And like, I'll take pictures of them, and I often forget about them, but I have
got an app now. Do you have it? Like you can scan it and it'll tell you what everything is, and it'll tell you how to take care of it.
Okay. You need to link that because I need to find out what that is, because I honestly,
I got a bird watching app too.
See, I'm not quite there yet. The flower watching, sure.
Someone. So like I was kind of given a beginner bird watching tip and everything, and they said, the app works really well, like Merlin bird IDing, and like for beginners, it's perfect.
Is it like
it like takes some sound? That's how I do, because like I can't identify from sight.
So that you can just like turn it on. Like, what's the word I'm thinking? What's the app? The songs. You can just play it and it'll tell you.
You'll hear. So like I did it today, like walking through. Like I was at the dog park today at Chalco, and I heard an interesting bird, and I just turned it on. And I hadn't turned it on for like months, and it was a bird I hadn't seen yet.
Well, there you go.
Northern flicker, I think. And I'm like, oh, look at that.
What?
Northern flicker.
I got to look it up now.
Yes. I mean, you could take pictures with it and it'll try to identify it. But like, I like doing the sound.
Oh, I dig that.
And just sit there and see what pops up.
Cool. Okay. So what's your biggest inspiration of flowers then? The last take?
My biggest inspiration? What do you mean?
In Omaha. So if we're each other's guest for today's show, where would you your ultimate?
Right. Well, I would obviously take you to Lawrence Gardens.
Yeah.
That's kind of a given. And then I do like going to like little flower shops. So like Mole Halls or something and seeing what.
Check out Everbloom, really. Everybody check it. It's such a really cool spot.
A long time ago, and I never have made it. There's no
seriously
reason.
One of my favorite stores ever. I just love that store so much.
I've been like to Bookworm like so many times since you brought it the first time, and it's just right there.
It's really cool gifts, really cool things, and just well curated.
Good to know. How about you?
Howard Street. Oh my, the windowsills of everything down there. I just love those little flower boxes. So yeah, that's mine. Cool. All right, we'll see you later. You too. Thanks for listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast. We want to thank our guest, Hurrdat Media, all of you for your support, and the Omaha community at large.
So from Dee and I, keep on exploring.